Hey guys, it's Roberta here. So, like I promised, I was going to be doing some blogs, the Hallowvlogs, and this is our first Hallowvlog. We're not really, I did talk about some Halloween stuff before, but we are watching YouTube documentaries. This one is on the witch hunters. Just wanted to give you, this is Real Witches Paranormal Documentary. Like I said, we're going to be talking a lot about paranormal shows and documentaries. This is this video, and these are just people that are talking about in the beginning, like, you know, when they started witch hunting, and when this whole thing with the witches over in Europe, you know. So just here's a small clip. I just wanted to give you a brief clip of what the program's about. And that third degree was the degree that killed the person being tortured. This is some of their torture devices that they would torture the women when they captured them and accused them of witchcraft.
Incredibly, even under torture, the witch was viewed as highly dangerous. The Malleus Maleficarum warned the torturer never to look a witch in the eye for fear of her evil powers.
Because if you look into her eyes, you might have compassion for her. And in the book it says this is her casting her spell on you. But what that means is there was no room left for the inquisitor to have any compassion for the person that was being tortured.
Under torture, most accused witches confessed to the most heinous of crimes. To avoid more suffering, they told their torturers what they thought they wanted to hear.
In the hope of getting these people to confess to the fantasies that judges and inquisitors had developed and indeed had acquired from their reading. These people were subject to excruciating physical pain. And we do know that if the pain is severe enough, we will confess to almost anything that our inquisitors want us to confess to.
To determine guilt or innocence, the English devised a method known as swimming the witch. If the accused floated, she was judged a witch and condemned to death. If she sank and drowned, she was judged innocent. Either way, the suspect was doomed. For thousands of others in Europe, however, death came by fire. But why this method of execution? Scholars believe it was thought that only when the witch's body had been reduced to ashes would her evil sorcery truly be destroyed. On the fateful day, the condemned would be packed into a wagon and paraded through narrow cobblestone streets to the village square. There, the accused witch was bound to the stake. Records show that on a single day, in one village square in Germany, 139 alleged witches were burned to death. The town historian noted that the place of execution looked like a small wood from the number of stakes. For the 200 years known as the Burning Times, witch hunts erupted like sporadic wildfires across Europe. The worst persecution would take place in the rural villages of France and Germany. There, under interrogation and torture, Suspects were forced to surrender the names of their neighbors. But why did the fury of the witch hunts escalate so rapidly?
Who did you practice with? Who else is involved in your rituals? You torture someone enough, you will give what is wanted in order to end the torture. And if it means naming someone, then you name someone. But this begins an escalating circle, an ever-widening circle. And eventually you would have dozens, maybe hundreds of people who would be named as a result of one or two women originally being identified as witches.
Perhaps no town in the 16th century captured the horror of the burning times more shockingly than Würzburg, Germany. There, the overzealous magistrates decided that almost the entire town was possessed by the devil. They condemned 600 people to death.
Wow.
19 were priests, 41 were children.
That is something, guys. You imagine that?
There were towns.
Oh, I don't think I want to imagine
in
that.
Germany in particular.
That
where
is sad.
There were no women left
Wow.
after the Inquisitors came through.
That's awful. Like, no women left. Oh. They just accused everybody of being
When the
witches.
fires of the burning times had finally smoldered into ashes, thousands had perished. Exactly how many actually died will perhaps always remain a mystery. Scholars' estimates range from 60,000 to 300,000 victims.
Bish.
Although the fires of the burning times in Europe started to die out by the late 1600s, the witch hunting frenzy would spread to the New World.
Okay, so that's when we go into, I believe this is when they're going to go into the Salem witch trials, which I have been to Salem, Massachusetts, and
In the strange and
have
terrible history
walked
of the
around
witch,
there, and that is an
perhaps
amazing
no
place to
incident is
visit.
more startling
If
or
you're
more
interested
hotly
in
debated
visiting
than an event
Salem,
which took place
Massachusetts,
in an obscure village in Massachusetts.
and this is
A
what
phenomenon which
this
still
is what
haunts
you'll see.
scholars with unanswered questions. During the Salem witch trials of 1692, in a few terror-filled months, nearly 200 people would be condemned as witches. 14 women and 5 men would be hanged on Salem's Gallows Hill. How did the witch hunt of 1692 begin, and why here? The settlement of Salem was named after the holy city of Jerusalem. But here, the pure...
Okay, guys, so we're going to bring you another video about the continuation of the Salem witch trials. So please stay tuned for the next video. That'll be Hallowvlog episode 2. Okay.